Oh, I want to make a distinction between how you see it and how it is. The young folk have an expression talking about keeping it real. They think telling their business is keeping it real. Keeping it real is separating how you perceive something from how it is. Jacob perceived that all these things were against him, when in reality, all these things were working for him. Number one, Joseph was not dead. And if it were not for the famine, he would never find out that Joseph was not dead. Number two, Simeon was going to be reconnected to him again. And if it were not for the famine, there wouldn't be this big family reunion. And everything, you can't handle this. I said everything that Jacob had lost was about to come back in his life again. I don't know if you can handle this kind of preaching, because you believe COVID-19 more than you believe me. But I came to tell you that everything you lost is about to come back to you again. The reason I chose this text is because Jacob perceives it one way, but God perceives it another. Jacob thinks he's at a breaking point, but this is the beginning of his breakthrough. So they load him up and say, come on, Daddy, just trust what you can't trace. Believe what you can't see. Come on, Daddy. Get on in the cart by faith. Everything's gonna be all right. It's all gonna work out. And step by step, moment by moment, God was leading him into Egypt, where he would be sustained the rest of his life. The rest of his life. The rest of his existence. He would not want for bread. He would not long for water. God would supply all of his needs through foreigners, through outsiders, through people who had nothing to gain. God had positioned Joseph to be in the right place at the right time, so that when his father was at a breaking point, his son had come into his own. God brings down one and he takes up another. And just as Jacob was going down, Joseph was going up. And he raised him up so that when the old man was down, he could say, come on to this house and eat bread the rest of your life. I came to tell you this morning that things are about to switch for you. Hallelujah. That it feels like a breaking point, but it's really a breakthrough moment. And if you just got the faith to trust God, you got the courage to stop counting what you lost and remember what you won, you'll get through this. Jacob lived the rest of his life waited on hand and foot, taken care of, eating the bread of the Egyptians. You understand? It's a Hebrew man eating the bread of the Egyptians. It's a monotheistic man eating the bread of a polytheistic people. It's the wealth of the unjust laid up for the just. That's why you ought to be nice to everybody, because you don't know who God's going to use to bless you. They don't have to have your faith to have your blessing. Oh, you can't handle me. They don't have to have your belief system to have your blessing. God put the children's bread in the hand of the Egyptians. And because they had a relationship with people outside of their demographics, God opened up a window and he blessed them, and it was so. As I come to the close of this message, I want to know, how do you perceive it? Do you perceive it as a breaking point, or a breakthrough moment. You need to rename your breaking point. You need to rename it and call it breakthrough.